Hey, this is Christine Keller with Century 21, and I'm here to talk to you today about real estate as a career. This is an introductory class so you can learn about the real estate career to decide if it will be a good option for you or not. So, I got licensed in 2007, and I got a broker's license in 2010. And I grew up in the real estate business. This is my dad. He's been in real estate since the 60s, and he sold real estate as an agent for 10 years. And then he became a Century 21 broker, and he's been a Century 21 broker in the Augusta area for 40 years. And if you ask him what made him so successful over a long period of time, he'll tell you that it was because he affiliated with a Century 21 brand. And it gave him all of the tools, all of the advertising, the brand recognition that he needed to compete with anybody in the business for a very long time. So, what is the process of getting started in a real estate career? So today we're going to talk about the introductions to real estate, why people get in real estate, and some misconceptions. The first step, though, is to get a real estate license. In the state of Georgia and South Carolina, which we are licensed in both states, you have to take one licensing course in order to be eligible to take the licensing exam. In the state of Georgia, it's a 75-hour pre-license course. And in the state of South Carolina, it's a 60-hour pre-license course. So there's only one course that's required to obtain a license. So relatively easy entry-level career to get into that has a lot of income potential. Once you have committed to a licensing class, then you would be eligible to start your training. We're one of the only real estate companies in town that will train you while you're getting a real estate license. And there is a big learning curve in a new real estate career for the knowledge that a new agent needs to learn in order to be successful in their new career. So we have a 20-week training program, 10 weeks working with buyers, and then 10 weeks working with sellers. We do primarily teach that in-house, and I think it's most beneficial. It was created to be an in-house training program, but we do record that training, and we do have it over virtual training as well for those that are unable to attend. It does help supplement our training. It definitely gives some value to listen to classes again because it's a lot of detailed information to remember and learn. But the training is vital to your success because you can get a real estate license and you can starve to death if you don't know what to say and do to build your new business and to be successful in a new career. The real estate pre-license courses that are required to get a license, they teach you what the state wants you to know to protect the public. So that would be terminology, laws, fair housing, agency, what it means to represent somebody in a fiduciary position. But you can get a real estate license and starve to death because we don't use that information every day in our career as much as we do, how to help people, how to get people financed, showing houses, writing contracts, negotiations. The laws definitely are important to know as well. But the training program is what we use every day in our career. That is vital to being successful. So the third step would be to meet with a broker like myself or another one in our firm in order to interview to join our company to make sure it's a good fit. And we would discuss, transitioning into the real estate business. It is one of the biggest challenges is to transition from an hourly paid job into a self-employed career, because real estate is, of course, owning your own business and being an entrepreneur. So there is some challenges that come along with starting any new business. And it does take a lot of time and effort. We'll also talk about being self-employed, how you get paid as an agent, and more details of our training program. But so when you think about the word real estate, what do you think of? Most people will say houses and money are the two most common answers that people think about when they think about real estate. But there is another one that is very important to our business that most people don't consider when they're thinking about a new career in real estate, and that would be people, because there is so many different types of personalities that you have to be able to get along with to help through the most expensive transaction that most people will make in their lifetime. And it's emotional. It's the American dream. It's the roof over their family's head. And when things go wrong, it certainly can bring a lot of emotional distress to people. And, you know, there's 10% of the public that is very hard to deal with on a regular basis when everything is going good. And there's another percent of the public that is crazy, for lack of a better term. And the other 80% of people are just like you and me, and you'll be friends with them after everything is said and done, even if there were problems in the real estate transaction, because if the real estate transaction was easy, we wouldn't have a job. So it's inevitable to have problems. That's what our job is. We bring the knowledge to solve the problems in real estate transactions. But you have to learn how to be able to help people cope with those problems and help them with solutions to those problems also. We have found that people that have experience working with the public tend to be very good real estate agents. If you've ever had any experience in being a teacher, in nursing, healthcare, medical assistants, preachers, they often deal with the type of problems that we deal with on a regular basis. That's very stressful and emotional, similar to those that we encounter in a real estate career. So there's some misconceptions about the real estate business, and one is that you have to be an older person to be successful. The average agent in the nation is 52 years of age, and primarily, you know, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even the 90s, the average real estate agent was 52 years of age or older, and they were usually male. But the demographics of home buyers has changed over the years. Now our biggest, well, there's two big groups of home buyers. Right now you've got, of course, your baby boomers. And then now we also have the millennials. And the millennials between the ages of, well, let's say that the first time home buyer age is between the ages of 24 and 35 on average. And they are very tech savvy, and they are looking for agents that can communicate with them the way they want to be communicated with. So you don't have to be an older person. Now there is a new opportunity in the real estate business for a younger person to come in and be extremely successful, because the internet has changed the way we do business. It's sped up the process. It's sped up the way we meet people, and helping people move from across the country. Often is done with video, virtual showings, especially in a very rapid seller's market where homes are selling very quickly. Another big misconception is that it takes a long time to be successful. And with the Century 21 training program, excuse me, the Century 21 training program, we have all of the training. And Century 21 has been around long enough to be awarded for its training program since the 70s. So they know exactly what the basics are that a real estate agent needs to know to be successful. So we are the only real estate company that will train an agent before they get their real estate license in the Augusta area. So that helps us help you get a fast start into the business so that you have a faster paycheck. I think people want to get into real estate to have more control of their income, more control of their schedule, and they usually want that process to start very quickly. So people will choose real estate for lots of different reasons. Having control of that income is definitely a goal for people. If you've ever worked on a hourly paid job, then you'll know exactly how much money you're going to make this year, this week, this month. And of course, overtime could definitely be a possibility, but there is only so much time in the day. And as you get older, I think people appreciate time that they have more and more because it's so limited. And if you got into a financial bind, let's say that, God forbid, you got into a car accident and you needed to come up with a large sum of money to replace the vehicle, maybe it got totaled, or pay for a medical expense. Let's say during the accident, you actually were out of work for a short period of time. If you're out of work, people often accumulate debts because bills, they never stop coming, regardless of if you can't work, if you're ill. And so more than half of America doesn't have $1,000 in savings. And so when a catastrophic event happens where a car breaks down, people get ill, they can't work, it's hard for people to catch back up. They're digging a hole that takes a very long time to get out of on an hourly paid job because the time is so limited. The average employee may work 40 hours a week in the United States. And yes, you can get overtime, but how many hours would it take you to earn $5,000 or $10,000 to pay for an unexpected expense? A lot of people have months, even years, to save that kind of money. And so in real estate, you are paid based on results, not the time that you would put into the business. So you have the ability to work 7 days a week if you are truly committed to saving money to get a new car or to pay for a health expense or whatever it is your goals are. If you are truly committed, you could work 7 days a week. You could work 40 hours a week. You could work 50, 60, 70, and there's no boss to tell you that you are not able to work overtime or you're limited on the number of overtime because of the way that the compensation is set up in real estate. You are your own boss, and your broker that you work for is there to train you and to keep you legal. The broker in Georgia and South Carolina is legally responsible for everything that that agent does on their behalf. And that's why brokers are required for agents to work for. But of course, control of income is certainly the most or the biggest reason why people choose to get in real estate. Another big one is there is a lot of favoritism in the workplace, and people don't feel like they earn what they're worth. Sometimes people get promoted based on political reasons. Maybe they, you know, are more friendly with the boss. There's lots of different reasons why people don't get the top pay that they deserve. My dad, before he got real estate in the 60s, he worked at International Paper. And if you're from Augusta, you'll probably know what that is. It was a very good job for the time frame. It made very good pay per hour. But he worked in a factory and he saw the same people every day. He did the same work every day. And it wasn't pleasant work. He worked in a factory. So he always said that he worked harder and he was smarter than everybody around him that he worked with. But the only way for him to get promoted was if someone retired or if someone died. Because nobody left that job. It was a very valuable job, and it was definitely sought after for the time in the 60s. But he felt like he was clocking into hell every day. And he couldn't reach the top in a reasonable amount of time. And so that's when he decided that he needed to own his own business and make his own decisions. And he was either going to get into real estate or he was going to become a stockbroker. And he decided that he was not going to get into stocks because he didn't know any rich people to buy stocks and investing, and everyone needed a place to live. So it is one of those industries where there's always a need, even when recessions, even when the economy is bad, you know, when there's foreclosures, short sales, even when companies shut down. All of these reasons create real estate transactions, not just the good ones that people always think of, like, getting job promotions, having a baby, getting married, graduating to a bigger, better, finer home. And those are all great reasons for a real estate transaction as well. But there's always a need for housing, which makes real estate an recession-proof business. So my dad, he felt like he was in a dead-end job where he was because he didn't want to work there for 30 years in order to get promoted to the income that he felt like he deserved. The very first job that I ever had before I got in real estate was Stardust Skating Rink. I worked there as a teenager in high school. And of course, we worked with lots of teenagers. And teenagers are very hard to work with because they don't always do exactly what they say. But I was a very well-disciplined child. I always got very good grades, always did what I was told the first time. And that was just my personality that my dad taught me, I suppose. But there were instances that, they opened the Stardust Skating Rink for usually 4 hours at a time. We did birthday parties. And after the 4-hour period, they gave us 30 minutes to clean up after. And if it took longer, that was okay. But that's all we got paid for after the skating session. So I didn't want to be there any longer than I got paid for. So I worked really hard to do what needed to be done to get out of there. But, remember, we were working with a group of teenagers, and a lot of them didn't do their part, but they got paid the same amount of money that I did, even though I did most of the work. And I thought, at the time, childish teenagers, But as I got older and I had other jobs, I realized that adults act the same exact way. There is a certain personality of people that will do the very bare minimum that they can keep or get away with to keep their job, and nothing extra, nothing more. They don't have that entrepreneurial personality to go above and beyond to do things better. And so, if your personality is a worker that may not go above and beyond, that always has to be told exactly what to do in order to complete a job, it may not be the best fit for you. Our goal here is to make sure that if you're going to make a career change, it is a huge life decision, and real estate can change your life, but it has to be a good fit. A lot of people love or make a change to get into the real estate business because they want to spend more time with their family. If you work an hourly paid job, sometimes it can be very difficult to get time off. They only allow a certain amount of days for people to be off. And if you have children and family, people want to be there for their children, for their school events, for award ceremonies, for sporting events, doctor's appointments. Maybe they want to go on vacations with their kids, or maybe they want to travel and see family, or, just build those memories with their families. Life is not all about work. And so a lot of people choose real estate because you can make your own schedule. And that is not to say that you don't have to work. We work very long hours, usually a lot longer hours than other people, because I consider it to be more like a lifestyle instead of a job. I build relationships with people, and my clients become my friends, and these are people that I keep in contact with forever, and I help them with multiple transactions, watch their kids grow up, watch them get married, some of them get divorced, move multiple times, pass away even, but time off is something that is very important, and you can do that in real estate because you are the owner of your own business, and you get to schedule your own appointments. So you can block out times where you would want to spend with your family, and that is a huge draw to owning your own business. But usually people that own their own business work a lot longer hours than those that work 9-to-5 jobs. I tend to have my cell phone with me, and I get odd calls, at odd hours, and you have to learn when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And my phone, it goes on do not disturb at usually 9 or 10 o'clock. But you have to be available for people too. People that buy houses, they have jobs, and they have to have jobs in order to qualify and have money to make home purchases. So you have to be flexible with people's schedule. And you also have to have that likable personality that we mentioned before to deal with all different types of personalities. And be able to help people who aren't quick paychecks. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make in the real estate business is that they don't always help and counsel the way that the public needs. There's a lot of first-time homebuyers out there, and right now, especially with it being a very low inventory, you get buyers who may call looking for rental property. Maybe they saw something online. It was just for sale, but they just really didn't realize. And they call at odd hours, and they ask what we think are, sometimes dumb questions. But have to be able to be nice to people and get on their level and help them anyway. Maybe they don't have credit. Maybe they don't make a lot of money, and they can't buy anything right away. But helping people learn about first-time homebuyer programs, or helping them build their credit, build a relationship with someone, And they are so grateful when somebody actually takes the time to help them and they're not a quick paycheck. And that is a client that is made for life, and they tell all their friends and family about you, and that develops a repeat and referral business. And that's really what the real estate business is all about. Your first year in real estate is going to be extremely difficult because nobody knows you sell real estate. You're brand new, so they don't know if you know what you're doing. And friends and family can sometimes be some of the hardest clients I've ever worked with. But these people that maybe aren't the quickest paycheck and are first time home buyers will always remember that one person who would help them when nobody else would. And they'll tell all their friends and family about you. And that's what real estate business is all about, because the second year in real estate won't be as hard because you're going to start to get that repeat and the referral business from the people you helped, genuinely helped, regardless of how much of a paycheck it was going to be. So having a likable personality is certainly important. And, people always ask me, what is it like to be in real estate? Because a lot of people think it's so easy. And all we do is ride around in the car and talk on the phone all day about chit chat and small talk. But it is so much more than that. If real estate was easy, we wouldn't have a job. And it's primarily about solving problems and making the details come together. You have to consistently meet new people every day. It's all a numbers business. And so you have to work on your communication skills to be able to articulate the real estate market to the public so that they understand and you can help guide them to the best decisions to reach their financial goals. We do a lot of interviewing, presenting, education, and it's a very competitive business. There is about 1,500 agents in the real estate business. And there's really not many homes for sale today as I make this class. So it is certainly a very competitive business. We qualify buyers, we qualify sellers, and to see if they would be a good fit for us as an agent, if we can help them obtain financing to purchase or to figure out what the price of their home would be in order to get their goals met, whether it's a faster sale or maybe their goal is more money. We do marketing, customer service, negotiations. We learn to write contracts, and of course, problem solving and preventing problems throughout the transaction. So that their move is smooth. Learning and keeping up with real estate market and changes never stops. I always say that the real estate business is hyper technical and there's so much attention to detail and things that you have to know and remember, from real estate in general and, rules and things that you have to know to stay compliant, and then all of the technology and the websites and the resources that we have to remember to use in order to gather the information to help educate the public on what they need to know to be successful in a real estate market, whether they're buying or selling. And of course, we have to know everything that loan officers know. We have to know the process of getting a loan and the real estate transaction in general. We have to know everything that the home inspectors know in order to comprehend home inspection reports, in order to communicate to the buyers what items are leverageable in what market in order to help them complete their purchase. We have to know what the appraisers know as far as valuing property and why homes are worth what they're worth in different markets. We have to know what the attorneys know as far as in title searches, as far as liens, encroachments, deeds, ways to hold ownership. We have to know all about divorces, bankruptcies, title changing hands, and surveyors that identify property lines and what kind of problems those pose. There's a lot of detail that goes into the real estate business. I'm going to show you a short video in order to give you a little bit of idea of what the business is like and how Century 21 can help.
There are two types of agents in this world. Agents who meet expectations, and agents who see them as a starting point. Agents who want to work and get out, and agents who want to challenge the status quo and elevate real estate from a transaction to an extraordinary experience. Relentless agents who seize opportunities, not just dream about them, and want to be energized by who they work with and what they do. Being one of the relentless agents affiliated with the Century 21 brand means making sales and memories. It's constantly learning while changing the game with your knowledge to take you that extra mile. The Century 21 brand offers competitive tools and bakes incredible support right into our foundation. Century 21 affiliated agents have access to products by MoxieWorks, which can act as your devoted sidekicks to keep you on task, a versatile presentation builder, and more. The C21 Tracker is an industry first that lets your clients know where they are in the sales process. 21online.com is not only a brand intranet, but a personalized productivity platform that guides you through the key steps and actions in the real estate process. Century 21 University provides learning programs based on your level of experience, plus national advertising that keeps you and your listings top of mind. There are two types of agents in this world. To those who settle, good luck. To those who defy, we'd like to talk. Join the most recognized and respected name in real estate, Century 21. Join the relentless.
All right.
There are two types of agents in the...
I don't want to hear it again. Okay, so what does it take to be successful in your new career? You don't think you have to tell people to be ethical, but there are a lot of gray areas in the real estate business where you do have to be honest with people. You have to help guide your clients in order to be honest with people so that they don't get in trouble with legal problems in the real estate business. There are situations where you have to disclose problems with things going on in the house, and everything that we know we have to tell the truth about. And you have to make sure that your clients know that you did the right thing for them. Otherwise, it will kill the repeat and the referral business, and the real estate business will be too hard for you to develop a repeat and a referral business, and you won't stay in the business long term. There is a huge turnover in the real estate business. I think about 30% of the agents that get into real estate are in and out within 3 years. Those are approximate statistics, of course. They do vary from time, but it's been that way for a long time. And you have to have empathy for people. People buy and sell real estate for lots of emotional reasons, and they're not always the good, happy ones that we mentioned before about getting married and having a baby and making more money and wanting a bigger, better, finer home or a vacation property. But people, they have death in their family, they get divorced, and we encounter situations where they won't talk to each other if they're going through a divorce, and you really have to be the solid non-emotional person to help these emotional people get through the transaction and to reach their goals. Selling someone's personal home has a lot of emotion tied up into it anyway. It's the home they raise their children in, their family, and may have been in their family for several generations. And they need someone that can understand their goals and be there for them sincerely and genuinely want to help them and not take advantage of them. You have to have the ego to take no's. It is a numbers business, and you have to talk to a lot of people. And a lot of people think that they are a people person until they have to ask complete strangers for business. And you will get a lot of no's, but eventually you'll get yeses too. But you have to learn how to overcome those no's, how to overcome call reluctance in order to meet lots of new people and procure the business in order to be successful in your career. You are self-employed, and you have to talk to a lot of people to be successful, and you have to learn how to take the criticisms of why you didn't earn that business. You have to be able to improve your communication skills and understand that it's always a challenge to improve. And it's very easy to get your feelings hurt if somebody's hanging up on you or they're cussing you out or they're rude, because things didn't go right in that transaction. And so you have to be able to be resilient and to learn from your mistakes and to be better in personal growth, your career. Just like anything else in life, it's hard, and you want to look at it as a challenge. Um, you have to have a lot of energy because we do work a lot as a new agent in order to build that career to one that is long term, that won't be hard later in life because you're getting good at what you do and you are getting a lot of repeat in the referral business. But it takes a lot of hard work and energy in order to build a brand new business from scratch. You have a lot to learn and you have to give it 121% commitment in order to be successful. You have to have the personal commitment and the discipline to always learn. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make in the business is they don't come to all the training and the meetings, and they're not involved in the office as much as they should be. But there's so much to learn. You learn from your mistakes, you learn from other agents and what they're saying just in conversations. And sometimes classes, they get repetitive, but repetition is the key to learning. And people, they forget things. I have been doing real estate for 15 years, licensed, and sometimes I learn something new every day. Even things that I knew before, I maybe didn't use it much in this market for several years, and then all of a sudden the market changes and you have to remember how to do all that stuff that you used to do so often that didn't apply to the current market. Our markets are always changing, from buyers markets to sellers markets. Different skills are important in order to be successful. So you have to commit to getting a real estate license. It's equivalent to one college course. And you have to make a commitment to pass that state exam. It is a very difficult exam. And I know people that, have failed it multiple times, and that's okay. There's no reason to be ashamed, but you have to commit in order to learn that information. You have to be disciplined to come to the training. Don't miss it. A lot of people, they think they know it all, but you only start learning when you think you have learned it all, and then you learn things the hard way and it's like, gosh, I wish I had known that first. And you can't learn everything the hard way. Those are the people who often get in and out of the real estate business within that first 3 years. So we don't want you to be a statistic. You are going to need to commit to always learning and the education throughout your entire career. It never stops. So there's different ways to get a real estate license. There are online courses. There are in the classroom courses. Georgia and South Carolina have 2 separate classes that you need to take. Georgia residents need to take a Georgia class. South Carolina residents should take a South Carolina class. And then you can be licensed in both states. I am licensed in Georgia and South Carolina. I was born and raised in Georgia. I got a Georgia license first, and then I got a reciprocal South Carolina license. You do not have to take any additional class or test. You just have to prove to the public or the state that you're licensed in the other state, and then they will recognize that without any additional class or test. You just pay for the license, and you need to be licensed in both states because us being in a central Savannah River area, North Augusta is only 10 minutes away from here. And so a lot of people that consider Augusta also consider living in North Augusta, South Carolina. So if you're interested in learning or joining a real estate licensing course, All you have to do is give us a call and set up an appointment, and we will help you determine which class is best for you based on your learning style, and help you determine what schools are available and help you get registered. And then you would need to set up an appointment to interview with us in order to start your training program. Our training program is encouraged to be taken while you're getting a real estate license because it goes hand in hand. And the more that we can teach you about what to do and say to be successful in your new career, the faster you're going to start earning money in your new career. And that is usually a very important factor, is to make sure that that income gets started in your new business as soon as possible. You can get started right away. All you have to do is set up an appointment with us. You can call the office or you can reach out to us online, and we'll be happy to set up an appointment with you. The first step is you have to get a real estate license in order to earn a fee for commissions legally. So how do you earn money in real estate? So you get paid based on your results for helping buyers successfully buy or helping sellers successfully sell and going to a closing table. You can make money by referring clients to other agents. Maybe they sold their house here in the Augusta area and they're moving to another state like Texas. You could refer that client to an agent in Texas when they're ready to move and find a house there. And that agent would pay you a referral fee at closing when they help that client successfully buy because you referred that client to them. So that's a good income stream. You can make money through rental property, through real estate investing. All you have to do is help tenants find rental property, or you could refer owners that have rental property that they want to have managed by a real estate company. All you would have to do is refer those over to us, and we would pay you for the referrals, so you don't have to worry about managing the real estate. All you have to do is send us the information, and then we would pay you upon that property management agreement registration. There's also programs we have for advances on listings and sales when you're new in the business, so that when you get a listing, you don't have to wait to get paid. Especially a new agent getting into the business, of course, getting paid fast is really important. And we also have a guaranteed income program that no other company in the Augusta area will offer. So a lot of people ask, well, how much money will I make? And it is based on your results. Your first year in the business is going to be your hardest because you're learning what to say and do. And that learning curve is real in order to feel confident to go out and help the public. But your second year in the business, people usually make more than they did the first year in the business because they're getting acclimated, and now they know the real estate transaction enough to do it more often and closer together, and that often increases their income. Your income is unlimited based on results. We don't limit you on how many hours you can work. Of course, your broker wants you to sell as many houses as possible because your success is our success. So we want to help you create an environment that would make you able to sell as much as you're willing to work for to meet your goals. So it doesn't take very much money to get started. We have a startup bonus. We have a startup cost sheet that we'll go over with you when we get together. But overall, it costs about $1,500 a year in order to get into real estate and to maintain a real estate license. On average, about $1,500 a year. So you do have to sell at least one house in order to be profitable in your real estate career. And real estate is a very competitive business. The top 20% of the real estate agents in our marketplace, they sell most of the real estate. And then the other 80% of the agents sell the rest. So it is a very competitive business, and you have to be very good at what you do. So we'll teach you that in our training program, how to compete with anybody in the business. with our brand recognition and our tools and our award-winning training. So how do you know if you have what it takes to be successful? You just have to be committed. If the motivation on why you do something is the difference. If you didn't have any other options and you love real estate, you have to look at it as something that you love to do and not a job. And if it's to support things that you love, like your family, your hobbies, your vacations, anything that you love, then you have to use that motivation in order to keep you committed and doing the things on a regular, consistent basis. That is one of the most important things in being successful in real estate is the commitment to the learning, the commitment to passing the test. And we can break these goals down to make them very simple for you. We can tell you exactly what to do, but we can't do it for you. In the real estate business, all the agents in our area work for you. So if you list a house, all the agents in the Augusta area will work for you in order to get that property sold. So it is a good way to come into the business and not spend a whole lot of time in it if you need to come in part-time. But a lot of people want to know, if I'm working part-time, how important is the training? Can I get a license and come into real estate? You can, but with the turnover being so high, a lot of times without training, you won't get an income as fast, and you'll get frustrated in not earning an income fast enough. And usually that is the statistic of people that get in and out of the business because it becomes too hard, too difficult, because they don't know what to say and do in order to get the income they need in order to take care of their families. So the training is very important to being successful in the real estate. And it never stops. You can't just come to the training one time and think that you'll have it all. Most of our most successful people come through our training program multiple times because you can't recall all of that information without having that repetitive learning. And a lot of people want to know, can you be successful part-time getting into real estate? Some people don't have any choice but to be part-time to start our real estate program, because you have to get a real estate license and we have to get you trained. You don't want to quit your job if you don't have a real estate license unless you have some sort of spousal support, savings in the bank in order to be successful. But as a part-time agent, it's very difficult for you to be available for all the classes. It's very difficult for you to be available for all the clients in the time frames that they needed. It can be a very demanding job. And because it's so competitive, that often if you aren't available or you don't have the information in a timely manner, the public will choose to use another agent because they don't want to miss out on the market or a house that's available. So it is very difficult. We have had many people over the years that have been successful in it, but you have to be committed in order to put in the work to learn the things that you need to and to do all the little things to hold yourself accountable. So commission splits, of course, are two sides of real estate. Commission is one is helping the seller sell their house, and the seller has their agent that represents them. And then you have the agent that represents the buyer on the purchase of the property. And so the commission is split up among the realtors. In today's marketplace, there is a lot of talk of changing the real estate models in the near future based on the Department of Justice and the lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors. But we can talk about that at another time, because right now there's two sides, two agents, and typically the sellers would pay real estate commission in our market today, and this is being made in April 2022, and that real estate commission is split up among the realtors at closing. And real estate commissions are always paid to the brokerage first because we are liable for everything that the agent does. And the agent works for the brokerage. All the listings, all the sales, everything is under the brokerage name. So all commission checks would come into the name of Century 21. And then it's split up between the broker who takes on all of the financial liability for everything that you do, the E&O insurance. We take on the expenses for advertising, marketing, tools, and then that commission is split between the broker and the real estate agent. So why Century 21? Century 21 has been around for over 50 years. It is the most recognized name in the real estate business with the most training, not just across the nation, but across the world. You don't have to ask people that work for Century 21 what they do. It's a name brand that people recognize, just like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Starbucks. They are known for having the best trained agents, the highest respected agents, and for their global referral network because we are in so many countries, and for their tools and technology. So we're going to watch another short video to kind of give you a little bit of information about that.
For 50 years, Century 21 agents have proven there's nothing we won't do or can't do. That's 50 years of seeing possibilities and seeing them through. 50 years of doing what everyone said couldn't be done. 50 years of down to the wire, down to the dollar, and up for the question that just can't wait. 50 years of riding the waves, weathering the storms, and mold? What mold? 50 years of getting ready for the next 50. Ready to be the first one there and last to leave. Ready to close the deal, but never be done. Ready for blood, sweat, and champagne, champagne, champagne. Ready for anything that happens and making it happen. 50 years of everyone knowing our name and being the most respected name in real estate. For 50 years, we've done whatever's necessary to chase all of their dreams and realize all of ours. Century 21, half a century of nothing halfway. For 50 years.
Oh, next slide, please. Here we go.
This is our year, and not only because it's our 50th, although we do intend to celebrate, but because we came out of one of the biggest shifts in our industry and our world's history stronger than ever. We have 50 years as industry leaders and are the most recognized and respected name in real estate. And we actually continued our growth as a global powerhouse. How? We didn't wait to see what would happen next, we created it. Your 121% attitude led the way. You invested in virtual learning with over 66,000 courses taken. You gave virtual tours and proved your leadership with provocative ideas that drove change. We are innovators. We've got growth-driving solutions paired with industry-leading technology that enable you to own your markets and focus on making the journey memorable for every single client. So tap into the power of our global network. Create your culture. Deliver an experience no one can rival with new technology that will help you communicate with your clients and keep them updated on the progress every step of the way. Be 121%, 121% of the time. This year, your stories will be at the very center of our new marketing campaign. We have a global research study to define what home means through the eyes of our agents, brokers, and consumers. You'll be able to harness the data for thought leadership, and we'll be using the study to create our first ever Century 21 focused documentary on National Geographic. The #1 network on Instagram, #1 for viewer trust, #1 in overall quality with over 520 million followers across all platforms. In real estate, we're used to change. Here, we thrive on it. And if we know anything, it's that the things that scare most people push our people forward. So let's do this. put 121% behind every sale and every goal you'll ever have. What got us here will get us everywhere we want to go.
That slide always wants to play twice. Okay, so what are your next steps? You are in our recorded career night now. The next step would be to meet with a broker. You could meet with me, or you could meet with any of the other brokers that are here. And we want to talk about how we can help you make a transition into your new career by joining in on a training course and committing to a real estate license. So we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have during that meeting. You can always check out our websites. We do have other classes that are going on from time to time. We do first-time homebuyer classes. We do real estate investing classes that teach you why it is beneficial to purchase real estate as an investment. How is it profitable for long-term and short-term, how to flip a home, how to purchase property for rental property, and how to make money and gain long-term wealth. We also educate the public on the different types of ways to finance a home. So please get on our Google page and give us a review about what you think about our classes. It would be most appreciative to us. And my phone number is 706-589-2003. Our office number is 706-796-0106. So I'm going to display this here again. So you have our information to reach out to us, because we are so excited to help people learn about real estate as a career, because it has certainly changed our lives, and we want it to help change your life too. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. There are no dumb questions. And let's get together and chat about how we can help you move forward. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.